Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Victory Sunday for the New York Jets, who remain undefeated in 2024. And what a debut it was for Joe Douglas's most recent draft class. Today, we'll break that down and much more. GreenBean is joining the show. So, Jet fans, let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
We're here with Charles Gorman. Charles, you're about to get into your Uber, which I called for you specifically to leave Don Jose Mexican restaurant. Give us the breakdown on the night. Did you have fun?
I had a good time. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for long. My parents wanted me to be home at a certain time. I know I'm a grown-ass man, but their house, their rules. People were very nice. The food is good. Anyways, have a good day and stay healthy and God bless.
Charles, thank you for the time.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes. Charles Gorman, everybody. One of one. A legend of our time. Go Jets.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Before we bring on GreenBean, a reminder, today's Jake Asman Show is presented by my friends at Huga House. Get the hat Aaron Rodgers is always rocking by going to hugahouse.com and using the promo code Asman at checkout for 15% off. You buy one hat with Huga House. With that code, you can get your second hat 30% off. So get the hat that QB1 AR8 is always rocking at hugahouse.com with promo code Asman. It's not just Rodgers. It's Tyler Conklin. It's Shane Gillis. It's Kevin from The Office. It's the overrated Josh Allen, Shohei Ohtani, and many, many more. hugahouse.com, promo code Asman at checkout to get yourself a discount. Shout out to Huga House for being a part of today's show. Joining us right now is one of my favorite people we could bring on. He's one of the great content creators out there. He's got one of the greatest beards of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, GreenBean joins the show. Good morning, GreenBean.
Hey, good morning to you. I am too a grown-ass man, Jake. I love that guy more than I care to admit, quite frankly.
Shout out to Charles Anthony Gorman, one of the greats.
Gorman
one
rules.
of the greats.
I thought that was his parents. It looked like I actually looked a little closer. Maybe that was an Uber.
Yes, I very specifically had to call Charles an Uber home. Not there. He made it very clear he only wanted it home, not to go to Don Jose Mexican restaurant, but to leave Don Jose Mexican restaurant.
Fair enough.
Lot to talk about with you. I feel like we're back, man. I'm tuned into your show yesterday, your live stream as I'm watching the game, and it was nice because normally when I watch the Jets, I'm stressed out. I'm living and dying on every play, and yesterday was like a nice, like kind of easing into the season because it's preseason, so at the end of the day, you can't be too upset with anything that happens as long as there's no serious injuries, which thankfully doesn't appear like there was. What did you make of yesterday? I think there's way more positives than anything negative when I sit back and think about this 20-17 win over the Commies.
Yeah, well, I feel the same way, and we are back. It's exciting, kind of getting all the gears going again for some real football. Now, a lot of the starters were out, but I think that's a good thing. You don't want to see Brees Hall in meaningless action, Garrett Wilson, which, by the way, it took me a little while, Jake, seeing 17 running around out there. I had 2 minor panic attacks when Corley got the ball. I said, why? Oh, wait, that's not him. You know, I was like ready to pull my hair out, seeing Malachi Corley wearing the 17 jersey that Garrett Wilson wore the first 2 years. But man, oh man, the opportunity to see with your second string young talent, like for so many years, it's just been, I mean, you're trying to see who's going to make the roster and everything, but very little, very little hope, very little interest in a lot of the back end guys. It's just this kind of fodder. This year, we're looking at real talent that's going to fill those last couple spots, whether it be wide receiver or on the defense, in the defensive backfield or the defensive line. You see guys like Leonard Taylor popping through, making an impact, McGregor, Watts, all these fun guys, Jarek Bernard-Converse. It's just, it's fun to be able to see that next tier, and you actually believe that there's hope and talent and development there.
No doubt. And I think when you think back to yesterday, it was so encouraging to see all the rookies that Joe Douglas drafted start the way they did. I think the guy who was the most impressive was Braelon Allen, but I went back and watched every pass rep that Olu had, and he was a wall. He looked really good. And I get it, it's backouts, but still, it's nice to see a lot of what we've been hearing about this class translate on the field in live game action. And it wasn't just, those two. Corley made some plays. Isaiah Davis, the other running back this team took, he made some plays. I thought Quantez Stiggers was really good as well. I mean, up and down the roster, it was nice to see this draft class come out and play the way they did.
Yeah, and saying Braelon Allen up top is I think appropriate. He is every bit the perfect complement to Breece Hall. Truth is, I think that he could be a starter, in the league, so having that kind of talent behind Breece Hall to not only spell him for maybe the tough yards, those 3rd and 1s or 2s, not have to, kind of wear Breece down, with that sort of stuff, but also he's got the ability to pop it off. Like you see, I mean, he's got good vision. He's got a, better than adequate speed for a guy his size. But my favorite thing, and he did it every time he had the ball, is when the run looks like it's about to be over, somebody's going to pay. And I love that. I love. I mean, I just can't credit Joe Douglas enough for the types of players that he brought in with Braelon Allen, Malachi Corley, and Isaiah Davis. They're aggressive, and adding that type of an impact is really exciting. Seeing Braelon Allen and Isaiah Davis both be used in the passing game as well. They both had nice little catch and runs. I think Braelon Allen had a nice, he bailed out Peasley, had a nice little first down there. I think it got called back, if I remember correctly, for some penalty, what have you. But still, seeing that these guys, they can be used in the running game, but they both have nice soft hands and can be a bailout option for the quarterback and make something happen with the ball in their hands. So it's just super exciting. Braelon Allen was my number 1 Jets running back hopeful in the draft. He was my RB1 for the Jets. So the idea that the Jets just went out and got not only the position, but the guy, it's rare, and it's really cool to see him in live action actually look the part that guys like myself believe he can be.
This once again continues to prove a take I've had for the last several years that if GreenBean had been in the Jets war room over the last 14 years of this playoff drought, the Jets would not have a 14-year playoff drought.
Oh, no doubt. 3 Super Bowls, Jake, minimum.
And people think I'm kidding, but legit, I've been following you for a long time. Your draft analysis is better than a lot of NFL teams. These are just facts.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many years, and even before – YouTube, when we're just kind of doing our own homework, and I would be on message boards like Jet Nation, and we're all doing our drafts. The guys that I would have picked for decades, they're all pros. A lot of them are Hall of Famers. I was a big Ed Reed guy in that draft. We chose Brian Thomas, who was nice for us. He was solid. I think he played for us for 11 years. Good player. But boy, oh boy, would Ed Reed have been nice. And we needed a safety. We took one in the second. McGuire, I think his name was. Anybody remember him? No. So that's how that goes. So many times it's, we have these players that we like. And I think the Jets historically have overcomplicated it unnecessarily. Just take the guy we all know is going to be good. No, we got a guy. You'll see. You never heard of him. But we're going to show you, and it doesn't work out. So it's nice to see finally that some of the guys that you hope for, that you watch and you study and you go, this guy's a slam dunk, that the Jets are actually bringing them into the fold. And then when you see him actually succeed, it's super exciting.
The other story from this game yesterday, and it wasn't a story, and that's a good thing, is Joe Tippman and his potential high snaps. Good to see Tippman go out there. Only 3 shotgun snaps, but no issues whatsoever. He was the only starter that actually played in this game yesterday. 1, what did you make of that decision by Robert Saleh? And 2, your thoughts on the potential, or maybe no longer a potential, snapping issue for Joe Tippman?
Yeah, well, hey, it's kind of one of those things where, you see, am I glitching? I feel like I'm a little glitchy all of a sudden, but I'm sorry if I am. But
you're good. We could hear you, but there's like a slight delay in your lips moving. There's a pause.
Weird.
But it's all right.
Weird.
We still could hear your great insight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I guess that's if you have to choose one. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you said with Olu, he's playing against backups. Well, those are the guys in front of him. You know what I mean? So we only got 3 shotgun snaps from Tippman, but none of them were what we feared may happen. So it's a small sample size, but it's what we wanted to see in that small sample size. So, hey, something to build on. And I think it's good to have him out there. He was one of very, very few starters that actually got into the game. So, I think that should continue. I mean, he clearly needs a little bit of refinement. So refine it. Use the preseason to do so. Because I believe in the guy. I mean, I think he's got the potential to be an excellent center. And we need that. Our number 1 asset happens to be right behind him. And that guy needs to play this year. As has been said by some other media folks, if Aaron Rodgers plays all year, the Jets are a Super Bowl caliber team. And I believe that. And so all resources should be to protect him. Tippman's right at the middle of that. So it's important to have him out there.
What did you make of the quarterback play yesterday? I mean, Tyrod only played 2 drives. Penalties killed his drive. So kind of a wash. But, I mean, is it crazy to think Andrew Peasley and Adrian Martinez are better than anything we saw last year at the quarterback spot?
Well, you know what, man? Peasley looked good to me, right? So it's funny because we have watched absolutely atrocious quarterback play at the starter position. So now we're looking at these guys, QB 3s, 4s, a lot. You could think these guys are just camp bodies, so to speak. But Peasley comes out. He's got nice touch. He shows a little bit of elusive escape potential. He makes some plays. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, this is good. We might have a QB 3. And then Martinez comes in and was downright exciting, in my opinion. And look, we know this guy can actually play, maybe not at the NFL level. We don't know. That remains to be seen. But he was good in college. He's the MVP of the UFL last year. So seeing him in the game, it's like, wait a cotton picking maiden, this guy. And then he found his favorite receiver, this Brandon Smith.
Who is this guy? He was great.
I'm scouring the roster. I'm like looking over. I'm like, this guy's nowhere. And now we signed him. He was part of last week, whatever. We signed a couple guys and just a nothing burger. It was like one of those little, news tidbits comes through and you go, okay, great. No big deal. But he looks fun too. So seeing Martinez and Brandon Smith, like their little show they put on, was downright exciting. And look, I'm not saying he's the next coming of anything, but I would love to see Martinez get the first, half snaps next week against the Panthers and see what this guy does, with a little bit of, a higher caliber competition, maybe the second team of the Panthers instead of the guys that are going to be likely cut candidates. I think it's exciting to watch. And quite frankly, I hope he wins the job. Peasley looked good too, better than we've seen, better than Boyle. I'll tell you that. Didn't he? He looked better than Boyle. Nice little touch on the touchdown to Brownlee. But man, I think Martinez might be the real deal, and keep that guy around. I think he's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it was just nice to see, plays being made, right? Like it was an entertaining preseason game. You had a little bit of everything. It was actually a lot of fun to watch for, a random game in August that started at noon, which was odd, by the way. Seeing the Jets' new jerseys and how awesome they are, that was great. But didn't it feel weird seeing them in the light and not in prime time like last year?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's exciting. I know it's, technically inconsequential, right? With, what are they wearing? What does the helmet look like? But it does mean something to us because there's that era associated with, the previous uniforms. It was really a lackluster, no reason to change from the uniform we had and get worse. And then the football associated with that uniform is just so bad. Adam Gase and just all of the negatives that are associated with that. When you see these crisp, clean, beautiful word mark on the helmet running around out there, it's exciting. I think it really symbolically really supports the idea that we're entering a new era. Like, we tried to shake it off last year. Like you said, we saw this legacy version of the uniform a Monday night for a few minutes with Aaron Rodgers, but it's like almost, what did we expect? It was still kind of that era. We tried to shake it off. This is a clean breakup, Jake. We don't have the girlfriend's number. We blocked her on Facebook. All the stuff that's necessary to really move on in your life. We've done that, and it's exciting to see those uniforms running around, man. I love it.
Another player I got to ask you about. I mean, Jarek Bernard Converse. I know he got beat on the fourth play of the game, but that was just a great throw by the second pick in the draft, Jaden Daniels. The coverage by JBC was great on that play, and then he was shut down the rest of the way. He was really good in open space. He was really good against the run. He made some tackles. I thought he was excellent. It's another example maybe of this coaching staff identifying a guy late, converting him to a different position because they like a certain trait this player has, and maybe they found something. It worked with Jamie and Sherwood. It's worked with a lot of guys since Robert Sowell and his staff have been here with the development on that side of the ball. What did you think of him? Because I thought that was big time yesterday, watching him play the corner spot.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a bummer when you see a guy just with perfect coverage and there's a great play made on him, because nobody remembers that the coverage was great. They go, oh, he got beat on the big bomb, which led to points and the whole thing. I think he is a really exciting player, and they somewhat picked on him yesterday. We saw a lot of opportunity for him to be the guy in coverage, and I think he did a really damn good job. He looks exciting. He looks athletic. He's fast. So, look, he's not going to push DJ Reed off the roster by week 3 or anything like that, nor should we be expecting anything. But it's real nice to see these young guys start to develop and turn corners and look like they might be players. I mean, the defensive side of the ball, our coaching staff on that side, I don't think there's much question about the validity of what they can accomplish, right? They've changed everything around here. They've had a top 3 or 5 defense the last 3 years. And so seeing these young guys kind of come up through that, it's exciting to see. And look, I think most Jets fans, he was kind of a name that nobody was really looking at. Some, late round pick. They took him cornerback, safety, back to cornerback. Okay, we'll see what happens there. Maybe he'll make the practice squad, but he looks like he just might be a player, and that's exciting to see.
Yep, 100%. Another guy who looked like a player. How about Leonard Taylor? We have not really heard a lot about him this summer at training camp, and then the quote-unquote lights come on, real game action, and Leonard Taylor yesterday at times looked like the best player on the defense. He recorded a sack. He had 2 tackles for a loss. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to make this team, but this was a guy that once upon a time was a 5-star recruit. Once upon a time was thought to be maybe a first-round draft pick, and here was Leonard Taylor yesterday really making plays on that defensive line.
Yeah, man. The fact that he wasn't drafted, he's one of those guys that everybody had a draftable grade on him, whether it was a mid to late round pick or what have you. He made it to undrafted free agency. You grab him, and again, most Jets fans, we like our guys. We all fall in love with a UDFA or 2, but he's been relatively quiet, and he looks like I love how you said that. The lights went on. So it's like in real game action, it's like he just kind of snapped to it. Here's what I like best about him. He showed that he's got the strength to push guys out of the way. He showed a little bit of wiggle, slippery, being able to slide through the interior of the line. But what I loved best was he got one hand on the quarterback, and that was a wrap. So many times we see guys, they get the penetration, they get their hand on a quarterback, and he escapes. Guys with those strong hands, that's what we always heard about Klecko. If his hands were on you, it was a wrap. It didn't matter. If he got a finger and a thumb, you were done. And that's what it looked like with Leonard Taylor. Like his hand was on him. There was a lot of spinning and momentum. The quarterback could have easily popped out of that tackle many times, but he didn't. And that's really exciting. Here's the thing. It's an outside chance. The defensive line depth is serious. There's very little room for guys to make it into there. But who's gonna take the spot? Is it Tanzel Smart, that final interior spot? Tanzel Smart, as much as I personally like him, I like his personality, I like the way he plays. He's kind of a high energy guy, but I feel like we know what his ceiling is. He's depth. He's going to be depth. Leonard Taylor, on the other hand, looks like a guy who could develop into maybe more than that, a sincere part of the rotation, an impact player. So I don't know if the Jets, if he continues to show out like that, I don't know if the Jets would risk exposing a player like Leonard Taylor to waivers, because not everybody has the depth that we have. And I think teams would be happy to scoop up a guy that looks like that, as opposed to a Tanzel Smart who's been exposed to waivers numerous times and he ends up on our practice squad. So I think the smart play, if you're a betting man, which many folks are in this chat, I imagine, would be to keep a guy like Leonard Taylor safe from waivers, and a guy like Tanzel Smart, you can have them both, so to speak, instead of choosing a Smart over a Leonard Taylor and then losing one. So I don't know. I'm real excited to see what the rest of the preseason looks for him, because that wasn't just one play. Everybody comes in, they make one play. He was consistent and impact plays behind the line of scrimmage, which is all you can hope. Imagine him playing next to Quinnen Williams.
And we've seen it. Anyone who's played next to Quinnen Williams eventually gets paid. 4
years. Right.
It's been a thing now. And look, I think Kinlaw is going to have a really good season, because I just have a lot of faith in Saleh, Obrick, White Cotton. If they see talent in that guy, and this is a guy who is on a 1-year prove-it deal in a scheme that's perfect for him, I think Javon Kinlaw is going to have a really good season.
Yeah. Well, look, Kinlaw, when we were all doing our free agent, wish list, Kinlaw was my number one defensive tackle. I got laughed at.
Yes, let's go.
People were like, you don't know, this is one of your, what, another Mims? Is he Mims GreenBean? Is he Kenny Yeboah? Because I have my guys that don't make it, of course. But I was like, no, I'm telling you, Kinlaw. I loved him coming out. He was a high first-round draft pick for a reason. He had some injuries, and they moved him around, and some bad luck, so to speak. And I just said, guys, he's going to come relatively cheap. And he's the exact type of guy, like we lost Quentin Jefferson, who replaced Sheldon Rankins, like you said. Both have career years. Al Woods even looks better on our defensive line. We lose those guys. Kinlaw is young, high pedigree, who's one of those guys that you could imagine is hungry to change the perception. And then we see him come into camp. He looks like an absolute monster. They interview him. He starts crying, which shows humility. He's humble. He knows the opportunity. He knows what he's got. We're going to see a hungry, snarling beast with a high first-round pedigree for chump change. By the end of the season, in my opinion, if he stays healthy, everybody's going to look at that contract that we pish-poshed about. 2 years and one, we paid him too much. I think we're going to look at it and think it's a steal.
Completely agree. If you're watching live right now, there's 360 of you tuned in. Thank you to everyone for the support this morning. Need you to hit the like button. It's that thumbs up button. As GreenBean would say, give us those milk thumbs. No,
That's right.
So like this video if you're a Jet fan or if you're a supporter of the channel. It's the least you could do. And please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It is free to do that as well, and it helps the channel continue to grow. If you have a question for GreenBean to answer, or for me, or just a comment you want to get read, make sure you super chat it in. We will open up the Gusbuster hotline. So if you want to call into the show, now is the time. I want to remind everybody that the Jake Asman merch store has a bunch of new items in it. You can get your merch today, including this hoodie that I'm wearing at jakeasman.com/shop. If you're a Patreon member, every item in the store is 15% off. The summer drop came out on Friday. We got shorts. We got sandals. We got slides. We have new hoodies. We have an entire line of clothing for the 4% female demographic in pink with the Asmaniac logo and the Jake Asman Show logo. So check it out. Shout out to everyone who's purchased merch. Hopefully you rock it next Saturday night at our big event at T-Squared Social on August 17th. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. How about this from Ryan King? A 50 burger, $50 from Ryan King. Are you kidding me? Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
Ah, the hell with it.
That's great.
Yeah, baby. Ryan King, love you, brother. What do you guys think of Izzy playing later in the game? Looks like he might be on the way out. You guys are amazing. LFG, jet up, baby. Ryan, really appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. As far as Izzy goes, Green Bean, I think if they keep 4 running backs, I think he'll probably be the 4th guy. I think he'll beat out Valladay for that spot, but I don't know if they're keeping 1, 4 running backs, and 2, I think clearly they have their first 3 guys established just based on what we've seen this summer and obviously in game action. I mean, I've seen Isaiah Davis at times play with the first team when I've been at some of these practices. Izzy's a guy who, I know he scored the touchdown yesterday, which he definitely needs to continue to do, but he's a guy that feels like he's playing to either be the 4th running back or he's a guy that maybe gets cut and he's on the practice squad.
Well, he looked just like Ryan said. And what's up, Ryan? Ryan is my, I say this all the time, but I'll say it here. Ryan is my Disney nerd partner. So we have on the side, we've bugged out on Disney and, what's coming and all the changes. And, I'm quite the theme park nerd. So Ryan helps me appease some of that. Because in my family, they're tired. My wife's tired of hearing me, Jake. She's like, I know. I'm like, a new coaster's coming. She's like, sounds good, buddy. Why don't you go find a friend?
Ryan helped me move, by the way. You know how Ryan's in the moving business. He connected me with someone in the Houston area that gave me an unbelievable rate to move from Houston to New York City, which is not cheap.
No, that's not cheap. Good. That's amazing. I've had horror stories with moving companies where, and Ryan can probably attest to this. There are companies out there, Jake, that will move your stuff. And when you're waiting for them to show up, they call you and they say, we need another $5,000 to deliver it. So they'll hold your stuff hostage. So terrible. It's good to know people. It's good to know people.
Yeah, it definitely is. You're right about that.
So he's talking about, is he looking like he might be on his way out? I have to say I feel the same way. Now, he looked good. I thought he ran hard second half of the game. He didn't. You could see the difference between him and, say, a Braelon Allen. I mean, I don't think there's any real comparison, which is why you're seeing what you're seeing. Braelon Allen and Isaiah Davis, I believe, are just straight up a cut above what Izzy can bring. And both of them love to pass protect. There's the now famous comment from Dom C when he was down at the Senior Bowl. He was interviewing Isaiah Davis. And he said, everything aside, what's your favorite, not the, love the game, all that. What's your favorite thing to do on the football field? He said, I love seeing a blitzing linebacker and decleating him. Like, that's his favorite. Come on. So, I mean, Izzy's not bringing that. So he did have the touchdown at the end. Again, he ran hard, but I thought we saw a lot more of Valladay than I was expecting. And that to me is another sign. Like, they want to see which one of these guys can show up if they're going to keep running back 4. But guys, I think seeing Bawden get released, seeing Ferkser get brought on, you saw Kenny Yeboah used in the fullback role yesterday. I think obviously they love Conklin and Ruckert. I believe Yeboah is part of the plan. Would you keep an Izzy who can't pass block over a Ferkser who's played hybrid kind of, he's not as much fullback, but he's played fullback. He's been a success at the tight end in the NFL. Like, I think, especially as a tight end 4 and kind of having that versatility, would you keep a Ferkser or an Izzy who's really trying to find a spot anywhere and they're not using him on kick returns? And I don't know, man. I think it's an uphill climb for Izzy. And it's fine. I mean, look, when you have talent on the team, you need to show that you can hang. And if you can't, goodbye. I said it yesterday. I hate watching guys on the, in the preseason, young guys, like, you see their dreams just get dashed. It's like, it's their dream. And I feel that for them. But here's what I feel more for. Our hopes and dreams, Jake, right? So if that guy's going to take your hopes and dreams on a Sunday afternoon, then he's got to go. I'm sorry, buddy. I wish you the best, but our hopes and dreams are more important. And for decades, nobody had any problem sucking the life out of our dreams. So I think Izzy, it's going to be tough. If I had to predict, I would say he's probably a cut.
And he might be on the practice squad. And if there's an injury, he's on the active 53, just like that. So things happen.
Yeah, totally.
Ryan, thanks for the super chat again. All right, so we have 2 super chats here from one of the worst of all time, the great Bang Mateo. So that's an oxymoron because I called him one of the worst, and I also said he's one of the greats. So I don't know what I'm saying right now. But there's two super chats here. One's a positive, one's a negative. I'll let you decide which one we break down first.
All right, what do we got? Where are they? Let me see here. Can I see them? Where's Bang?
Go under starred.
I
First
like
two
Bang.
up top.
You know what? My scroll is cut it off. My scroll.
That's all right. I'll make the decision. We'll do the negative first because we'll get it out of the way. Bang Mateo trying to find negatives here. Will McDonald got neutralized and stymied too much. Pay Reddick. Look, some context on Will McDonald because obviously Bang Mateo doesn't want it. This is from Connor. I was going to say Connor Hughes, but it's not Connor Hughes. It's the Connor that the Jet fans seemingly are big fans of. This is from Connor Rodgers of Badlands, SNY, NBC Sports. He broke down Will McDonald's reps, right? So yesterday, Will McDonald played 11 plays. Only 5 of them were pass rush snaps. One was a screen. Another, the quarterback rolled the opposite way. Then he had a quarterback hit with a win off a spin move on one of the other 3. They called roughing, but that was questionable at best. He's going to be just fine if they give him the Huff roll. Now, I agree, Bang. They need to figure out the Reddick situation because they need to get him in camp. He's a great player. Let's not dismiss that. But, the idea that Will McDonald was somehow bad yesterday or we're going to make a snap judgment on him as a player in year 2 after one preseason game where he played 11 total plays, that's outrageous. So I want to make sure I make that clear too.
Yeah, and somebody actually, I got a DM, maybe it was on Instagram or something. They said, we're going to miss JFM. And I was like, same thing. Like, really? I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like you said, it's very, very limited sample size. In that sample size, we saw an amazing, talented win. They called the penalty, and I can tell you why. It's because once he had him, he drove his feet. Probably that's what happened there. But the move itself was incredible, and not everybody can pull that off. And just like you said, I don't think we're looking for Will McDonald out of the gate to be Reddick, but I think that he can have that Huff style impact. I'm not too worried about what he's going to contribute this year. And I certainly am not worried by anything I saw in this game. I thought he played fine. Again, when we're looking at great pass rushers, 10, 12 sacks a year, we're like, oh, he's great. And that's in 17 games. If he gets 15 sacks, we're looking at him as a stud. If you're out there for 3 pass rush reps and you get to the quarterback on one of them, not a bad stat line, quite frankly. So let's keep things in perspective here. He didn't play the whole game and was neutralized. He had a handful of snaps and he put on the move and it worked. So I'm not too worried about it.
Bang Mateo's positive super chat. Allen looked great. He might be our best rookie, in my opinion. He looked awesome. And look, he's running against backups, but what's important in these preseason games, especially with rookies, if you're hearing positive signs in practice, does it translate to game action? The answer with Allen yesterday was unequivocally yes.
Yeah. And again, so you could see what's there too. So even when they put Isaiah Davis, Braelon Allen had the 2 big runs and they put Isaiah Davis, who I like was my RB3 for the Jets in the draft. I like him a whole bunch too, but he's not Braelon Allen. Braelon Allen to me is a truly exciting addition. I think Isaiah Davis is going to be great and fun and have an impact as well. But you could even see the difference between those 2 players when they put Isaiah Davis in. It just was a little bit slower, a little bit harder to get around the edge. He has the ability, like you said, he's showing up in practice and he's turning some heads and people are saying things. And then he gets on the field and you see a couple different running styles. One is the vision and the burst through the hole, right? He a little hop step to the right, didn't just like a caveman run into the ass of his offensive lineman. Little step, little vision, and he bursts through the hole straight ahead, lays the wood at the end of it, as we say, falls forward, which is a huge trait for a running back to have. That's an extra 1 to 3 yards at the end of every run when they can do that consistently. He does that. But then the other cool thing was he had a big run getting around the edge, which shows you that he's got just a little bit more speed than maybe the defense thinks he does, which is exciting to see. He's a big bruising running back that will punish people. But if the need arises, he can turn it on and get around the edge. And that was one of the biggest runs that he had. I believe it was 23 yards around the edge. So I'm telling you, man, this guy as an RB2, if we didn't have Breece Hall, I would literally be excited about what this guy could bring to the starting offense. I would legitimately feel that way. So the idea that he's going to be spelling Breece Hall or used in specific packages is just, I mean, it's a position that we haven't. Just a couple of years ago, we were hoping Elijah McGuire and Trenton Cannon were going to take us to the promised land. Like, this is our RB3 is better than starters that we've had for years. And Braelon Allen being RB2 is an amazing situation for us to be in, guys.
Completely agree. Bang Mateo likes the comp of Steven Jackson for Braelon Allen. I'd sign me up for that comp. I'm in.
Oh yeah, I'd take that.
All right, so 2 positives from Bang and only 1 negative. That's not bad.
It's good stats.
James Fitzpatrick with a super chat for us. Haven't heard much of Fotu. Could he actually get cut for Taylor, Watts, McGregor? Taylor and McGregor got the largest UDFA money. I think Fotu's definitely on this team. He's had a good camp for what I've heard.
Yeah, and he played a little bit yesterday. I'm not, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything either, so I'm not going to, dismiss the comment or anything. But I don't think he's depth, right? So he's behind Quinnen Williams, I believe, is where they have him slated. Quinnen's going to play 70% of the snaps. So you're looking at a guy coming in for maybe, up to 30 max, I would say. I like the player. He hasn't done much to get us excited. Like we're over here talking about Leonard Taylor III making his impact. Eric Watts coming in, making an impact. Even Braden McGregor showing some nice bend around the edge and some speed and being able to, get the pass rush pressure going. So you'd like to see the guy that you brought in free agency make an impact. But I wouldn't get myself too excited. He's also an NFL pro for a few years. He's not going to, maybe I won't say it that way. He's not going to exhaust himself in preseason. You know what I mean? He knows the ropes. He's out there. He's getting his body going. He's getting used to things. He doesn't need to show anybody anything in the preseason. I think he knows that.
Felix checks in. Felix is the man. He's making it rain with memberships on the daily. He's got a super chat here. I agree. Taylor III's a gem. He's going to be a beast on the rotation. He's got to make the team first, but I think if you're going to base it based on yesterday, yeah, he's going to be on the team if he has 2 more games like that.
Yeah, well, I think like we've talked about, it's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on how this progresses, because let's say he has this great game and then the next 2 games he's completely neutralized. He's a non-factor. It could be a scenario that he kind of plays himself out of that role. I'm hoping that he's the final guy, to make the roster. That's what I'm hoping, because I think he's got the talent to do so. But there's a reason, why guys slip, why guys end up in undrafted free agency, and why guys are at the back end of depth charts when you look and they have all the talent in the world. So he's just got to come. He's got to continue to progress. He's got to show day in and day out what he can do. And if he's a gamer, there's nothing better than gamers. We get all excited for the big pass in practice or the big sack. And then in games, these guys are non-factors. I would rather a guy be quiet, never hear a word from him, and he gets on the field. It's like Ashton Davis, right? Like, everybody wants to cut him. You put him on for 1 play, he gets a pick. You're like, okay, well, that was good. Gamers, that's what you want. So let's keep an eye on Leonard Taylor. He's one of the guys I think that we should be excited to watch throughout the preseason, because preseason can get hard in the 3rd and 4th quarter. So let's just keep our eyes on the guys that we want to see make the team. He's one of them.
Well said. Felix's super chat reminded me we're about 27 memberships away from adding the Aaron Rodgers Scorched Earth Tour emoji for all Asmaniacs who are channel members on the show. So hit the join button to become an official Asmaniac, or make sure you turn on gift receipts, because you never know when someone might make it rain and gift you a channel membership. The emoji, by the way, is just Aaron and the football being on fire. The rest of the stuff is just thrown in there to emphasize what we're trying to do. So become a member. And if we get 27 of them during the show, we will add this to the rotation. All right, some more super chats, then we'll take some calls before we say goodbye to the great Green Bean Jets fan. Ray Danger with a super chat. How long did it take Bryce Huff to become Bryce Huff? How long did it take for JFN to become JFM? Everyone needs to RELAX with Will McDonald. Are you preaching the Aaron Rodgers relax with Will McDonald?
RELA.
Yeah. Well, I'm right there, Ray. Here's the difference, though. The difference is that he was a first-round pick. And he was a first-round pick at an ill-advised position when we had other needs. So there's an acceleration of expectation with guys like that. That all said, where they were taken really shouldn't have that much bearing, but it does. And I think he's shown talent. He's not a guy, he's not Vernon Golston. When even in practice, remember the famous scene in Hard Knocks with Rex Ryan. He sent, I forget the offensive lineman's name at the time. He was like a swing tackle for us. He liked to fight. So he sent him out there to fight with Vernon Golston and see if he could fire him up. Like, we're not seeing that with Will McDonald. We're not at that point. He's out there. He's playing hard. He's showing his skills. He's beating guys in front of him. So I agree with you. I think we should just relax a little bit. I think if Reddick was here, we could relax a little bit easier. But we have a guy with uber talent who's developing. It might take him a minute. It took Quinnen really about 3 years to become Quinnen. So I'm with you, but I do understand the expectation thing with him being a first-round pick.
Yeah, to your point, it's like the perfect storm of like Reddick not being here, where he was drafted, who left this offseason.
Right.
It's all kind of like heightened on the fact that when Will McDonald did play as a rookie, it's not like he did nothing. He was pretty effective. He had the same pressure rate that Jermaine had in his first year. Now, Jermaine, to me, is a better all-around player because he could play every down against the run. But if McDonald is just in the Bryce Huff role this year, I think he could have 8 or 9 sacks. I don't think it's crazy with this team playing with more of a lead and more opportunities to rush the quarterback. So I think it's a great point by you.
I agree.
This is from Jason Edwards, who says, I love the way both Allen and Davis catch out of the backfield. They both have wiggle in hands, and Rodgers will find those guys a lot. So if you have versatility at the running back spot, be ready for a pass, Jason. Excellent point. How about this, GreenBean? A 10 spot of memberships from Felix Compost. Yeah. Yeah. Felix, you are the man. Here we go. 10 names. Jet Set Fool 24, Megan Voger, Ronald Lake, Jetted Out, Flight Right 49, SDA Jets, Scott Foster, D Van G, Larry Thomas, Trevor from Canada. You are all channel members, courtesy of the great Felix Compost. All right, Gusbuster Hotline is open. We'll rattle off some calls. We're going international for this first one. This guy told me he's calling in from Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, Karim is on the line. He's first up today. What's up, Karim?
What's up, Jake? How you doing?
What's up, man? You're the Brazilian Jet. What's going on?
So I'm here with my family. Today is Father's Day. And they say I keep my wife, Valeria, and our baby, Jacqueline. It's a Giovanna, and it's a Juju.
I love it. I see they got the Asmaniac merch on right there. That's awesome. Thank you, man. That's incredible. Wow.
Hey, Jake, we're going to do a Brazilian chant for you.
Let's go.
Go.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
amazing.
awesome. That's awesome, Karim. How long are you in Brazil?
I'm in Brazil only for a week because I have to return to work for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be here the whole month of September because the baby will be born then.
Wow. Congrats. That is so cool.
Yeah, and I wanted to tell you that whatever day the baby is born, that's how many paid forwards I'm going to do.
That's amazing, man. I appreciate the support.
So hopefully it's 15.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take whatever we can get, Karim. I really appreciate the support, man. It means a lot.
Pay for it regardless in the name of our new baby. So, yeah. I just want to say, Jake, I've been hanging out with you a long time.
Thank you, Karim. Well, I appreciate it. Hopefully, you hanging out with me for however long it's been. It finally pays off with some wins on the football field. So the shows are a lot more fun during the season.
Yeah, I used to meet you at the Houston Jets Club down
Yeah.
the Houston Jets. So, it's like I said, we've been together a long time. So I just want to say thank you because when I'm at work in the morning, this just keeps me going. And as maniacs, man, we are number one.
I appreciate that, Karev. Yeah, I mean, look, it's time to win now, right? The Asmaniacs and every Jet fan out there deserves it.
That's it. I got the old number 7 because I wanted Kaepernick before we drafted Zach.
Is that a number 7 Kaepernick Jets jersey?
Yes. I wanted him because he was free and he was good. You know,
he couldn't have been worse than Zach Wilson. You know, in hindsight, you're not wrong.
No way. Zach never beat anybody to prove that he should be a Jet. Never. He didn't beat Alabama, Georgia, nobody.
No. Well, he didn't beat anyone with the Jets either. So we have that.
Jake, you reminiscence of me when you was out there and you was like, he sucked. That's a Jersey thing. That's us.
I appreciate it, Kareem. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the support of the show in Brazil. That's awesome.
Okay. As maniacs, Feliz Dia Todos Pais. Ciao.
Kareem, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Kareem checking it. How about that? Brazilian Jet fans, GreenBean.
That was epic. That was epic, man. I love that.
I love it.
I love the kids.
If you want epic, I got the guy to bring on. You mentioned him right off the top. You're a big fan of his work. Ladies and gentlemen, last night in our Discord channel, he threatened to crack Gator McCluskey's skull. Charles Eugene M. Gorman joins us. Hello, Charles.
First of all, I'm not threatening to crack his skull. I said he was trying to be a smartass and wishing harm on other opposing teams' players. I said, well, how about I wish for your skull to get fractured? And he was like, and then he took it differently. So I was basically trying to make a point to Gator that I was actually being serious about, you know, a certain player being good. But anyway, how are you, Mr. GreenBean?
I'm good. It's good to see you, man. Truly. Be careful with the head cracking, though. It's a slippery slope.
I'll try my best. Anyway, yeah, I gotta admit, I wouldn't be too concerned about Will McDonald. I'll watch probably the highlights when I get the chance, but from what I heard, there was a play where he looked good. The hit that got called back because of roughing the passer, I believe.
Yep.
And also, I liked Olu Fashanu. I know a lot of Jet fans in the first round, they wanted a weapon, but me and my father, along with Long Beach Joe, huge shout out to him. We wanted depth on the offensive line. We took Olu Fashanu, and he looked good. I'd probably give Olu Fashanu an A-, negative points for the false start.
And to be clear, your father's name is Dennis Gorman, right?
Yes, Jake. My father's name is Dennis.
Okay.
He's been a Jet fan since the Joe Namath days.
Wow.
He
And
was
he passed
10 years
down his
old when he
fandom
did.
to you.
Somewhat, yes. He gave me little Jets mouse pads, little Jets kickballs.
Wait, a Jet kickball? Like what you play in gym class?
Yeah, like a little Jet kickball where you kick around, where you throw it. Yeah, that type of stuff.
Wouldn't that be a soccer ball? What, it sounds like
It
you're
was
just
a
kind of a
little
soccer
Jet
ball.
kickball. It was green. It wasn't a soccer ball. No, kickball, you got to throw it to get the other player out or something.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, it was fun. And I know what GreenBean, I got to understand what GreenBean was saying. We should have never changed our uniforms. I 100% agree with you, my good sir. The old uniforms were fine. And I'm still trying to get this stupid Adam Gase thing out of my mind.
What, Charles, why are you doing the walk and talk? Is there a way you could just stand
I'm just walking
still?
around my house. That's it.
Are you trying to accomplish something on this walk? You getting your steps in?
Yeah, it's part of my ADHD. You know, I like to walk around the house.
I see.
Hey, I'm a phone pacer too, Charles. I get it. As soon as I talk, I got to stand up. I don't know what that is. So maybe I have ADHD. Maybe I'm undiagnosed. But yeah, you know, I'm excited to see he brings up the uniform, the classic uniform, Jake. That came out of nowhere for me. I didn't expect that. I was happy with our uniform change this year, but I am a proponent, and probably because the two greatest coaches that we've ever had, Bill Parcells and Weeb Eubank, both said the white helmet is it helps the quarterback see their players on a green field. So I was happy to see that they brought the white helmet back, even if it's for one game. I think it's beautiful. I'm happy to see it back. Wish we never changed, but as is with so many things, life goes on. But I'm happy to see that helmet brought back for at least 1 week this year.
I am as well.
When is that helmet going to be on? I mean, when is that? Buffalo Monday night?
Yeah.
Ooh, can't wait for that shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah. That's okay, Charles. You're forgiven.
But have a good day, guys. I'm going to probably take a shower now. Have a good day, okay?
What type of shampoo do you use, Charles?
Lady Speed Stick shampoo. I'm kidding. No, I I don't know the exact name of the brand, but it's good. It smells nice.
Mm-hmm.
But take care. God bless. And hopefully Gator and I reconcile eventually.
All right. Gator just wrote in, Charles wants to murder me. So to be clear, you don't want to crack his skull.
I don't want to murder you, Gator.
Okay.
You're too much of a national treasure. Granted, you can be a smart ass sometimes, but you're too much of a national treasure.
All right. Well, Charles, thank you for blessing us with your call today.
You're welcome, man. God bless.
All right.
See you,
God
Charles.
bless. Charles Gorman, everybody. One of the greats. One of the greats.
I love Charles.
He's the best. He really is.
Dude, he created Knoble. You know what I mean?
No, that's Lane Train.
Oh, that's right. So Charles was the one he couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
right?
he was questioning it. He didn't believe it. He thought Lane would lie, which is outrageous.
It's fucking crazy. Who would ever question this? So good.
I see people asking for the call-in link. It's pinned in the chat, but I guess because of all the memberships and super chats, maybe it's invisible. I just posted it again for those who want in. We got about 9 minutes left for GreenBean. 2 quick super chats. AZ Jet says, my guys, please chat about how great our O-line can be. Look, if the offensive line for the Jets stays relatively healthy, to me, it's not just a good line. It has a chance to be like one of the better lines in the league because that's how much I believe in the talent of Tippman and AVT, the 2 holdovers from last year. We know what Morgan Moses is. We know what Tyron Smith is. You love the depth of Olu being there in case Tyron can't play every game, which is unlikely he will. And John Simpson is a big upgrade over how bad Laken Tomlinson was. So, barring catastrophic injuries again, which it's the Jets, so I guess that could happen, I feel really good about this offensive line. I do.
Yeah, well, like you said, I think the key is health. I will say I am very, very excited about our team. I think Joe Douglas has done a great job. I think we have a lot of, potential. I love that we've kept this core defense together for numerous years. We see teams like the Bills for so many years, continuity is king. You can have great players, but if they're always new playing with each other for the first time, it takes time. Lots of great stuff. But one rub I have with Joe Douglas, and I just don't get it, is his kind of lax approach to securing the depth on the offensive line. Like you said, Olu Fashanu is fantastic. I was a strong supporter of the O-line choice in the draft. I would have loved Rome Odunze as well. That would have been great, but I was really hoping for offensive line depth. The interior of the line behind AVT, Tippman, and Simpson scares the hell out of me. I'm not a Wes Schweitzer fan. He spends more time on his back than I think offensive linemen should, Jake. I mean, people argue with me. I think he's on his back a little too much. I don't like it. Xavier Newman, not a huge fan. I mean, hey, I'm rooting for him to, go ahead, develop. Glazer, not impressing me. I really would love to see Connor McGovern brought back. I know the people are saying it's a foregone conclusion. He's already, there's already a handshake deal. I haven't seen any proof of that, so I'd like to believe that's true. That would secure a lot for me because he can play, both guard and center, so he could be a backup in a pinch. We know he's at least NFL caliber, so that would help. Help me because look, if AVT, God forbid, anything happens with him, which has happened 2 years in a row, we're looking at Glazer or Newman or Schweitzer coming in. And it changes everything, man. So I like what we did on the offensive line, trades, draft picks, free agent signings. We did a lot of work. I'm very happy with it, but I would love to see that interior secured a bit more than it is right now.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hey, Green Bean, how you doing?
Hey, what's
Yeah,
up,
my
buddy?
brother says hi. He loves you very much.
Tell your brother I said hello. I love you.
Yeah, Jake, my brother loves you too.
I love Mikey.
Yes, he loves everybody. Hey, Green Bean, do you like wrestling? I gotta ask you a question. Do you like
Professional wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, I used to, not since the days of like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. It's been a while for me, buddy.
Okay, because this guy who calls the next show, he does a wrestling show. He sounds exactly like you. He never shows his face, but he sounds exactly like you.
Oh, really? Does he wear one of these? Is this what he wears?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Here, watch.
Put it on.
No, he doesn't show. No, not that. He just.
Yes.
He doesn't
Maybe it's
show-
me, Bobby. Maybe it's me on that show. You never know. Maybe I'm just incognito.
Well, that's what I thought. It sounds like you. I asked Nick, "Do you think that's Green Bean?" But he says, "I don't think so." Sounds exactly like you, though. So I like Allen. That's a great guy. He looked like a beast yesterday, didn't
You
he?
love Braelon Allen.
Yes, I do. He's from Wisconsin. Reminds me of Brendan Jacobs. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And then that guy Smith looked pretty good yesterday too.
Yeah, I never heard of this guy till yesterday.
Never heard of him either. And then that Converse kid, that he looked pretty good yesterday too.
JBC.
Yeah, one play, big deal, big deal. He played great on that. Who couldn't? That was a great throw. He played the defense very good. So can't get them all. And it's preseason, so that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the Jets looking good this year so far.
So far, so good, Bob.
They're 2-0 and 24. You said, right?
You look good. You look clean shaven. You look like you showered.
Yeah, I showered. I changed my shirt. See,
I like the hat.
That's good.
yeah. Well, Jake bought it for me. He bought me 3 hats.
Oh, good. Well, you look good in it, man. You're wearing that hat well, buddy.
Yeah, and then he bought me a Yankee hat. Are you a Yankee fan, Greeny?
Yeah, but I don't. I haven't paid attention like I used to in a couple of years. But yeah, that's the team I root for.
Well, we lost one and won one yesterday. So,
Bobby, did you see your new emoji? Everyone's using it.
oh yeah, this bathtub. Yeah, remember I saying this?
Yeah, Bobby got out of the hospital, Green Bean. He was there taking care of a foot infection, and he got a sponge bath from some beautiful nurses. So to honor that, we added the Bobby sponge bath emoji.
I love it. Yeah, well
Yeah,
done.
remember I saying early song? That time, Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make that time lots of fun. Rubber Ducky.
Rubber Ducky. I remember that, Bobby.
Yeah, I remember that. I grew up on that song. Yes,
You're the best.
I grew up on that song.
Well, Bobby, great call from you today. Thanks for
I
spending time with
slept
us.
great yesterday. Last night, I slept for like 10 hours. But
I love it.
All
right.
Okay, thank you for having on with Green Bean. Green Bean, you have a great day. My brother said goodbye.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Tell your brother I said have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye, Jake.
Bobby Midnight, everybody.
Well, I need to find Matt Liry. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Bobby.
I had to play the O'Leary one for you, Green Bean. I mean, there were some issues between the two, but it's been settled. Matt O'Leary will appear on the Bobby Midnight show. Yep.
I'm happy to hear that. I don't want any bad blood,
Nope, definitely not. One last call for Green Bean, ladies and gentlemen. We bring on an OG Jet fan. His name is Neil, and he joins us now. Hello, Neil.
Good morning, guys. Green Bean, nice to see you.
What's up, Neil? Good to see you, buddy.
Dude, you are the best. You and Jake, those are my brothers, baby. You are my brother, Green Bean. You know why? Because you are going to appreciate this season more like I am going to appreciate this season because we've waited a lot longer than guys like Jake and a lot of these younger fellas, right?
They don't know. They don't know, Neil. It's been
They don't know the pain we've been through. The pain we've been through. But it's all going to be worth it because in my mind, every day I wake up now, it's one day closer to New Orleans. In my mind, without it, I don't want to give a shit about the mush and it's this and I'm going to mush it. And look, we all have PTSD. I know you're making comments about the O-line, right? Got to realize we all have PTSD because we had 13 injuries 2 years in a row on our offensive line. I mean, you get to the point where, I mean, when you really think about it, how many teams really care about their third and fourth string offensive line because they haven't had to in the last 3 years? We sit here, let's just be grateful about the starting five we have because it's going to be ferocious. It's going to open up nice holes for these running backs. And Brandon Allen, boy, when he hits that second level, he looks beastly. And these kids are great. The rookies showed out really nicely. And we have one thing we haven't had in a long time. We have a lot of depth in this team. A lot of depth. I mean, you could throw these third string defensive linemen. Who's the kid, the one with the third, the defensive tackle, Jake?
Leonard Taylor.
Looks good. That kid might make the team. I tell you, he's got good penetration, had a nice play in the backfield. Our depth looks really great. Converse looks great. Everybody looks really, really, we have guys that, and this has happened since Joe Douglas has been GM. Let's be realistic here. We have guys that we released that other teams are looking for. Okay?
Yep.
Prior to Joe Douglas, when a guy got cut from the Jets, it was time for him to do his Amazon job or something else, okay? That was the history of our cuts. Nobody in the league even bothered to look at what we had when we cut them because they were all bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Now,
hey,
we
Neil,
cut
do you
guys.
remember? Do you
ahead.
remember when Tannenbaum, when we were getting close to cut day, he called it the mini draft.
Right.
Like we used to look
Exactly.
to cut day
Exactly.
for our starters. Like
Absolutely. It was, and it's the opposite now. I mean, you look at the guys we let go of, Luvu, Pinnock. I mean, you look at guys that are really performing in this league that were all on our roster and got cut or released or claimed. I mean, this is what we're going to be looking at. And that really is a testament to our general manager and how we pick guys. And everybody takes that for granted. And I will forever be grateful for our GM and owner for getting on that plane and going getting Aaron Rodgers. Because the alternative would have been, Derek Carr, average quarterback, not even being excited about the year. And right now, with that quarterback we have and that line and the leadership we have and everything else, we are going to be I just can't see. We're going to be the toughest out in the league. I don't see, I really see that 31-21 game that guy envisioned, Oz, when we were at the thing for the opener. And I really believe this is going to be a storybook year for us. Yeah. All you guys are going to be the most, when we go down Broadway with the confetti and we're going to have a special YouTube float. We're going to make a float.
Yeah.
With Matt, with all the guys. We're going to have a big float. And we're all going to have the Asmaniacs and everybody's going to be on this gigantic float. We're going to have to put it together. And we're going to just go down. Forget about the players. The players are secondary. Once they win the Super Bowl, we'll push them aside. Right. And it's going to be about us. It's all about us. The suffering we've had to go through. We're going to go down that Broadway when it happens, and we're going to be covered in beer looking to the sky, and it's going to be our time. Everybody get ready. And Fireman Ed's going to lead the float. He's going to pull the float, and he's going to be yelling jet chants, and we're going to have the time of our lives. So everybody get ready, because this is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Neil.
I can't believe you cut me off, Jake.
Blast off. Yeah. What a call from Neil. What a way to end the Green Bean segment.
Yeah.
GB.
You know when I knew I loved Neil? Like I love Neil. But at our draft party up in Long Island, when we drafted Olu Fashanu, we had the crowd cam on. And Neil right in the middle of the bar just lights up a cigar, walks up to the camera, and he was smoking that. So he was walking around smoking that cigar for at least an hour, man. Nobody said anything to Neil. They're like, no, man, he just acted like this is what you do here. And that's what he did. I love it. It was the best.
Oh, that video is great. I played that on the show. But this is I've told the story a lot, but this is my favorite Neil story. So Neil took me to the opener last year. I sat with him and his son. And we had a great time, obviously, before the game. We're on the field. We're watching introductions. We get to the seats. And obviously, Rodgers goes down after 4 plays. Ugh. And Neil, without hesitation, as I'm flipping out, I'm screaming. I'm in a rough state, like just watching this unfold. And Neil, without skipping a beat, goes, he's fine. He just sprained an ankle. He'll be back for the second half.
Right.
It was just like amazing. How we can be that positive in that moment after all the bleep he has seen. I was like, thinking back on it, it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Neil's the best. That's great.
GreenBean, you're the best. I appreciate you hopping on. We haven't been able to get you on in a while, so this was great. I'm excited for the season. I can't wait to watch your content on your channel, the Talking Jets show you guys do every Tuesday night. Where else can people find you? How can they find you if they don't already know?
Well, you can, as you know, I took a couple months off. You know what happened, Jake? I lost over 50 subscribers during that break. So people, I guess, were mad. So if you're one of those folks, I was just taking a breather, everybody. So you can find me at GreenBean Jets Fan on YouTube, and let's alleviate that 50, that negative 50 hole. And I would appreciate anybody coming on over. We do the live game streams. They're a blast. Those are, we started yesterday. The best. It was like putting on a good, comfy pair of shoes, Jake. So I'm happy to be back. Thanks for having me on. It's good to hang with you as always. I appreciate it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great GreenBean. Check out his work. Subscribe to his channel. Come on now. I mean, GreenBean deserves your subscription. It goes without saying. GreenBean, you're the man. Thanks for popping in.
See you, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, GreenBean hanging out with us. Hit the like button for GreenBean. I said it before. If you're tuning in, we need 27 channel members to add the AR Scorched Earth emoji. The good news is we already got 10 of the 27, so we're 17 away from this being added. So become an Asmaniac by hitting the join button, or make sure you turn on gift receipts. Today's program brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, folks. Fantasy season is right around the corner. You could start drafting your teams now. You could do daily fantasy with Underdog for the preseason. You best believe I drafted a team yesterday that featured Adrian Martinez and company, because that's how sick in the head I am. If you want to use Underdog, you've never used it before, try it, because it's not just fantasy teams that you could draft. You could play Underdog's Pick'em, where you predict if you go higher or lower on someone's stats. I did the classic fading a bad former Jet quarterbacks. I went lower on Tim Boyle's passing yards the other night, and that was a winner for me with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Asman, and you'll get a 50% deposit match up to $250. Check it out, underdogfantasy.com, or just take out your phone. This is the easiest way, in my opinion. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Make sure you use that promo code. There's something for everyone with Underdog. It's a great app. It is fun to use, easy to use as well. If my dad could figure it out, that's my barometer. You guys could figure it out as well. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Asman. Sign up today and get that deposit match up to $250. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll continue to cut the line. Gusbuster hotline remains open. Appreciate everyone who tuned in to the GreenBean interview. Sorry I missed this from Terrence. He goes, can Garrett get 100 catches by week 10? I will answer for GreenBean, Terrence. I think the answer is probably not by week 10, but can Garrett Wilson have 115 or more catches this year? Yeah. I said the Salah's brother at practice the other day. I think Garrett's catching 120 passes this year if he stays healthy. I really believe that. Jay says, Boy Green also has good penetration. That we know. That we know. I mean, GreenBean after the Jet game yesterday, we know what he...
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas.
Nick Russo writes, and I personally find it hard to be high on players back up to the backup, but flaws are flaws no matter who your opponent is. Look, the bottom line is this. If you're on your third or fourth string offensive lineman, they're not going to be good. That's just the reality. There's supply and demand. If they were good, they wouldn't be third string guys. You got to just find ways to survive. You call a game plan differently where maybe the ball gets out quicker to, mitigate the issues you have up front. They couldn't do anything last year because you had poor O-line and horrendous quarterback play. It's a worst combo. And obviously a play caller that without Aaron Rodgers is not very good. Now, this is the reality. 370 of you are watching right now. There's only 235 likes. So please click that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. I'm trying to get to 40,000 subscribers by week 1 of the Jet season. More of your calls right now. If you want in on the conversation, click the link that's pinned in the live section of the comments. JT is next up today. JT, what do you got for us?
Yo, Jake, let's go. Jets football is back, brother.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
While it was preseason and it was probably, I don't know, half guys that aren't going to be on the roster come September anyway, that was fun, man. One thing I noticed, I don't know if you noticed it either, I feel like Leonard Taylor was getting gashed in the running game on that first drive.
I had to watch it back. Yeah, I have to watch it back.
Okay, yeah, because I remember at one point in the game, I'm like, this Leonard Taylor guy's supposed to be popping. And then I don't know, I felt he was getting gashed a lot early on. But then he picked it up and started to really turn it over after, can't remember if after the first drive or after the second drive. He started to turn it up. I like that. But Braelon Allen, man, what a compliment for Breece Hall that's going to be this year.
Hell yeah. Look, he looked awesome. And look, it's one game. I get it. It's against backups. But he was playing well against starters on the Jets defense, which is one of the best in the league. And he was good in the joint practice. There's enough there to feel very encouraged about Braelon Allen's potential to not be good down the line, but he plays a position where there's no development with running backs. Either you have it or you don't. And he's someone that I think could come in and be really good.
Exactly. Preseason or not, man, this is still NFL talent you're going up against, whether they get cut or not. Some of these guys are still going to be here. And the Commanders played with some starters yesterday, right?
The Commanders played some of their starters, but not the vast majority of them were not out there.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm so excited, man. JETS, Jets. Football season is freaking here, man. Let's go.
Hey, let's go, JT. I love the positivity. I love the energy. Let's go.
I'm going to catch you later, man. That was I just can't believe Jets are back, man.
JT, I appreciate it, man. The Jets are back. Preseason or not, they are back. Reminder to everyone out there, you've heard me talk about it. We got our big event next Saturday night, the watch party of all watch parties. T-Squared Social, Midtown Manhattan. Party starts at 6:30. Games at 7 for Jets Panthers. See you there. It's a free event, but just make sure you RSVP if you want to come. We're going to be giving away a signed Garrett Wilson football. The ESPN New York promo team will be there giving out ESPN swag. There's going to be Asmaniac swag that I'm going to be giving out for all fans in attendance. The game will be on every TV with the sound on. You can play some of the simulators that T-Squared has. They also have darts, pool, ping pong. They have a mini basketball hoop you could shoot on. This place is sick. It's a huge venue. There's a bowling alley inside of it. We're going to have a blast, folks. So if you're looking to party next Saturday night, I mean, it's a perfect time for a preseason game. Saturday night, no work the next day for most people. Right next to Grand Central, so you could take the train from anywhere, Long Island, Westchester, Connecticut, Jersey. Come on down, baby. T-Squared Social. Let's go. RSVP. The link. See, this is why I keep bringing it up, because Ty goes, what is it, the venue? It very clearly says on the flyer, my man, T-Squared Social. That is the name of the venue. This is why I keep saying it, because people just, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm doing my best here, folks. T-Squared Social. RSVP if you're coming. All the info to do so is in the description for the video. Michael with a super chat. Martinez looked pretty good yesterday. Pretty good. I thought he was excellent. I thought he made some big plays yesterday. So I'm very excited about him. Damn you, Tom Ace. Jake, when is it? It's what I deal with, man. Donnie writes in, do you think Aaron Rodgers will perform as well as the backups even when he's not playing because they're waiting on his Achilles? Do I think Aaron Rodgers will perform as well? Are you asking me if I think Aaron Rodgers will be better than Tyrod Taylor, Adrian Martinez, and Andrew Peasley? Yeah, I do. I think he'll be a lot better. He's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's looked great this summer. You would have no idea he suffered a serious injury last year. Part of that is because, one, he's an alien with how fast he's recovered. He was practicing with the Jets in December of last year. Let's not forget that. And two, he got hurt week 1, right? So if there was ever a time for that injury, It happened as early as it could happen in the regular season. Literally on the 4th play of the year, the opening drive of the season. That's the bottom line. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in. David writes in, my second box of merch showed up. I'm a dope and had to pay customs. Put it aside until Wednesday. Not opening anything new until then. David, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad that the Jake Asman Show merch made it to Israel, baby. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show if you want 15% off on all your merch. But the merch store is open, jakeasman.com. Check it out today. Herman says, hopefully we get to see Mike Williams. I don't think he's going to play next week, Herman. If Mike Williams plays in the preseason, it would not be to the last one. David says, I am an Asmaniac. Amen. JT says, best thing about T-Squared is it's right outside Grand Central. That's part of the thinking with the venue selection by me. I'm like, where could I pick a place where it's easy for everyone to get to? Midtown Manhattan next to Grand Central Station is pretty high on the list. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. We need 17 more channel memberships for the scorched earth emoji to go into effect. Alan writes in, the rookie class is so good. No wonder why many of us were picking these guys in every mock. Agreed. Rookie class was excellent yesterday. Great start. Great start indeed. Could be interesting to see what they do for an encore. And this is a big week for the Jets. They'll have a joint practice on Thursday against Carolina. We'll see how they look. Sean says Mike Williams won't be 100 till week 3. I mean, maybe it takes him a couple games to be like Mike Williams, but I think he's going to be ready for week 1. And that's what people were worried about. I mean, him coming off the PUP list already is a great sign. Peter says best roster in football. It's true. At least I hope it is. Jay says, is it true that Adam Gase is working for Omaha Productions? It was at least the last 2 years. I don't know if he's back for another year. I haven't heard anything. J Quest checks in. Do you see Taylor making the team? If he has 2 more games like the one he just had, absolutely. I guess we'll see. I mean, that was impressive yesterday, no doubt. Sack and 2 TFLs. Double O Jet fan says joint practices against subpar teams are misleading. No. Well, last year the Jets got dominated up front against the Panthers in the joint practice. Remember that? Salo was so pissed off about how the O-line played. He called him out, and Hard Knock showed it. So I think there's something to be said for the Jets being the better team against the Commies the other day and then doing hopefully the same thing this week against Carolina, a team that might be a little better this year, but they were the worst team in the league last year. So the Jets should win that joint practice. Nick says, what did you think of Stiggers? I thought he was really good yesterday. Good debut for him. Made a nice tackle in the run game. His coverage was good. One of our great listeners, Nate, parentheses Nate, met his mom, met the whole Stiggers family before the game. That was awesome to see. So I'm a fan. More of your calls right now. Jay Coleman is on the Gusbuster line. What's up, Jay?
Hey, Jake. Top of the later in the morning to you, I should say. How you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. I hadn't called in a while, so I'm repping down here in Raleigh. I don't know if I've told you this. Was supposed to go to the game on the 17th. Something came up. So I get an Airbnb and get tickets to the game. Something came up, so I'll be watching it from one of my bars here in Raleigh. But, dude, let me tell you about that kid, Braelon Allen. Holy cow, dude. You see him truck that dude over?
Oh, yeah. No, Braelon Allen looks the part, man. He looks like he's going to be a guy that's going to be helping this team a lot this season.
He is. I see him. Oh, gosh. I compare him to a little bit of Bo Jackson with a little Barry Sanders, maybe. I could be off.
I'll take either one. I'll take either one.
Good stuff, man. But I just wanted to tell you, man, you're doing a great job. I wish I was back home. I go to these meetups, especially the one you're having on the 17th. That's gonna be explosive and epic. Like you always say. I just miss back home so much. I went back in April, man. I took it all in for my birthday, but I just wish I was there right now during the Jets rides and the Yankees rides and all that good stuff right now, man. It's just something to take in.
Yeah, man. I totally get it. Hopefully, this show could give you a little feel of New York.
Yeah, well, I watch you all the time, man. You're my link to back home and whatnot, especially with the sports and everything, the Knicks, Yankees, and Jets. But dude, when is this dude going to get into the Hall, man? When is this guy going to get in?
Yeah,
my guy. Where's this guy going to get in the Hall?
It's long overdue. My buddy Beningo always talks about this. I mean, if you look at his numbers, they're Hall of Fame caliber. And I think Gastineau got knocked for the sack dance and being flashy, but now you look at the NFL today, like what Gastineau did was like mild compared to like everything you now see. So
exactly, that's all they do now. Yeah, that's all they do.
I'm with you. Look how long it took Klecko to get into the Hall.
That's true.
Hopefully Gastineau's time is coming at some point.
I know. I think Marty and Joe need to really. I'm sure they are probably behind the scenes that we can't see, fighting for Marty to get in the Hall. He deserves it. I just saw Mongo Stephen Michael get in the Hall. Dude, it broke my heart. Honestly speaking, I think they should have given him his flowers when he was able-bodied. But I'm glad he's in now. But I see the same thing with Gastineau, man. You got to give this guy his flowers before he's not with us anymore, man. I don't want to speak that, but I think he needs to get it now.
Yeah, look, I totally agree with you, Jay. Great call, man. It's a shame. I mean, you don't want what happened with like Kenny Stabler, where he's not around to see it, So that's well said. Gastineau should be in the Hall. Great call by Jay. Favre took a dive to help Strahan. Otherwise, Gastineau would still have the record. He mentioned Braelon Allen. Let's watch these two runs here because I'm excited about Braelon Allen from yesterday's game. Shout out to Richie for pulling this together. I mean, this is what you want. I mean, guy can do it all. Good block by Olu here. Look at that. And then boom, second level. I know Brees said they've been calling themselves the Killer Bees. I like the Bash Brothers because I like their style. Look at the quickness here. Boom. Just some power running, man, with speed. And once again, great block by Olu Fashanu, who I thought played really well yesterday. Love it. I mean, you gotta be excited if you're a Jet fan. There's no doubt. Super chat from EJ. Greg the Leg and Tom the Toe are elite. Are you calling Thomas Morstead Tom the Toe? That's pretty funny. Greg the Leg appreciation post. That guy's the man. I said it yesterday. That kick he made yesterday from 56 would have been good from like 70. He's a beast. Gerald Sand says, I received my 15-ounce Jake Asman Show coffee mug yesterday. It's beautiful, and the coffee was extra good this morning. Love your show. Love the Asmaniacs. Gerald means the world that you would support the show by purchasing a mug. Appreciate you, man. JakeAsman.com/shop. So I was curious to see like what would be our top selling items in the merch store. The mug has been the number one thing that's sold. So appreciate everyone that bought a coffee mug. We have them in 3 sizes, 11 ounces, 15 ounces, and 20 ounces. 15 is like the standard cup of coffee mug. 11's a little smaller, and 20 is just huge. It's like a hot chocolate mug. That's how I would describe it. More of your calls right now. Here we go.
Bmac. Look at my TV. Bmac. I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets. Go Jets.
Hey Jake, good Sunday morning to you.
Bmac, hello.
Yeah. Hey. I see you got the Rodgers stash going on there. I forgot to bring that up.
Oh yeah. I like how if I have a mustache, It's because of Aaron Rodgers, but I'll take it.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, I've been saying this about Braelon Allen. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be like the AJ Dillon. You know what I mean? Like AJ Dillon is more bigger and powerful, but I think Braelon's gonna be like the more better version because he's more muscular, more bulky, and you just saw him yesterday. He was just trucking dudes over, and that's gonna be huge, especially when it gets in cold weather at MetLife. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna need that ground and pound and be that physical calorie, and it's definitely like when you're going up against elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Run the ball, keep them guys on the sideline, and plus you got Rodgers, so you're gonna put up points. And then the one thing I want to say, I don't know if nobody told you this or nothing, but Dan Orlovsky a few weeks ago, said that the Rodgers trade can be the worst trade in NFL history. Do you agree with him if that's the case?
No.
Bmac. Hey, you hater guy. Allen sucks and JJ can kiss my ass before I wipe.
I do not agree with Dan at all on that one. But Dan's usually pro Jets and pro Rodgers, so I don't really care about that hot take. More of your calls. PBM is on the line. What's up, Mike?
Yo, what up?
Look at that pint glass. Look at that pint glass.
Right? Look at this.
Yeah? Yeah?
Love it. The water and everything tastes better out of the Jake Asman pint glass.
My man, that's what I've been saying.
Oh, wait.
The comfort feels better in a Jake Asman hoodie, I will add as well.
So my dog wants to show something off real quick.
What do we got?
Look at the Jets collar.
Wow. Hold on. Let's go zooming in here. Look at that. What's the name of your dog?
Maui.
Hi, Maui.
Maui, like the Hawaiian island.
Oh, Maui. I love it.
Yep. So I had to watch like a fast forward because I missed the second half, actually like 3/4 of the game. But I thought the Jets did good considering it was their second and third string versus their starters in the first couple drives. But I do think that Jaden Daniels is going to be special. He just looks good. It doesn't look like it's too big for him, which Zach Wilson had always looked like it was too big for him.
To be fair, though, Zach was pretty good his first preseason.
I remember watching him, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe that was the second year.
He was good against Green Bay in his rookie year. Like he had a nice couple drives on that one. I think Jaden Daniels has a chance to be good, but I have no idea. We never know with any of these rookies.
Why is that?
Because it's the hardest position to evaluate. Unless you're Gary, it's very hard to know what you have in a quarterback.
I don't know how someone that can figure it out where you can know a quarterback can make it or not. I feel like we've had the NFL for so long and people do this every single day. How do they not know their talent doesn't translate to the next level? But it's in every single sport. But I don't know. I just find that
hard.
weird.
It's very, I mean, there's so many factors that go into it, and it's between the years too with the quarterbacks. Like Zach Wilson has all the physical traits to be great. He just never could process and consistently put it together.
And you watch like Zach Wilson in college, he can read a defense, but at the NFL he can't. I don't know. I don't understand the whole thing, but someone above my expertise can figure that out at some point.
Look, the good news is Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, and Tyrod's the backup. You know what you have with both, so you feel good about that.
I thought our other two guys looked better than Zach ever did, which is sad. But
it is also not surprising, unfortunately.
You think we're going to keep one of those guys?
I think they'll be on the practice squad. I think they're only going to carry two quarterbacks. With
the new rules, the emergency quarterback thing, do they have to be on the practice squad, or can they not take up the practice squad spot?
I gotta look at what the third quarterback rule is. You could carry three. No, the rule is you could carry three, but it doesn't count on the game day 46. Like you could carry a 47th player if you designate a third quarterback. That I think is the rule, if I remember correctly.
so they have to be on the 53.
Yeah, and I don't think either one will be on the 53. I think one of them will be on the practice squad with Jordan Travis, who's going to be stashed as on IR.
Gotcha. All right, brother. Oh, yo, 721 likes yesterday. That's the most I've ever seen.
Let's go. I'll take it.
So, yeah.
We only got 277 right now, Mike. You got to tell the people to hit the like button.
Hit the fucking like button. Let's
Mike,
go.
Mike, I appreciate it, but please, family show.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Thank you for the support, Mike. Felix is on the line. The great Felix Compost. What's up, Felix? Felix. Felix. No, Felix. Felix is called back in. Hello, Felix. Do we have Felixception going on right now? What is happening here? There's two people on the line under the name Felix Compost. Felix. Felix. Chiefs fan is up next. Hello, Chiefs fan.
Yo, what up? Long ass. No, sorry for cursing, but a long ass night for me. I stayed up late doing laundry, and I'm doing more laundry. I'm getting all my winter stuff done early, so the cleaners charge less, and the laundry's done earlier. So I'm going off 4.5 hours of sleep.
Nice.
But
well,
I did have an iced coffee today.
You had a nice coffee today.
Iced.
Iced, yes.
Yeah, because it's hot outside.
What do you put in your iced coffee?
Just creamer and if they got the vanilla, a shot of vanilla. Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm. All I know
How's
is
Denny's?
this. Well, I said in the server, someone snitched that I was working there so long because they didn't like how their order was done. So they reported me and the boss. I'm like, oh, he can't work over 40 hours.
Wow, you got snitched on?
If I was serving this food, I would hate to say this, I would have hawked about 4 or 5 loogies because that extra 6 hours is overtime pay and it's like $28 an hour.
Wow. So you would have hawked to it in someone's food?
Yeah, because that's an extra $28 an hour in my pocket.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't like it. And then 28 times 6, do the math. A lot of more money than what 40 hours is. And I'm like, I'm really not that bit of an angry guy, but that extra 200 could help out each month.
Would you go to the strip club with that money? How would it help out?
No, I still have medical bills to pay off on this leg for how many surgeries it had. So I was constantly using that extra 28, and just like, okay, I paid off everything. Let's just, after taxes, whatever that extra overtime pay is, just pay off my bills.
How do we get back at this person who snitched on you? What do you think?
My boss is like, you're not allowed to walk back here. So she already handled it.
Okay, so we ban this person.
Yes, because no one wants to do dishwashing. No one wants to clean the toilets. All they want to do is serve. No one wants to burn their hands. No one wants to get dirty cleaning toilets anymore. Like, I remember back in the day when we did our chores, cleaning toilets, people would pay you a little bit more because that's a dirty area.
Mm-hmm. That's what you do. You do the the grit and grinder stuff.
Yeah, and then there's stories of people who were janitors at hospitals who would have to, like, some crazy guy would shit all over the bathroom. Sorry for the language, that they would have to go in there and clean it. Those are the real heels of the hospital. I know the doctors are, but cleaning up a crazy guy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in my Chiefs last night, and I'm also worried about Hollywood Brown too.
I saw he got hurt. Yeah, tough one.
Yeah.
That's the concern with playing your starters in the preseason, you know?
Well, I'm going to be real. I think he's going to be out for 6 weeks, knowing him. Tyreek was out for 4 weeks, but Hollywood Brown is injury prone. So I'm giving him maybe return by week 5 in the regular season. Maybe week 4.
Well, the good news is you still have Patrick Mahomes. So you'll be okay.
Yeah, and I just don't want us to relive last season like for drops. But we did win the Super Bowl though, so I guess everything went well. And speaking of Super Bowls, the only way I know I'm going to piss off a lot of Jets fans. The only way I'm going to root against the Jets if it's the Jets and Lions, because I grew up hanging out with a Lions fan most of my life.
What's his name?
Daniel.
Ah, shout out to Daniel, the Lions fan.
Yeah, but any other way, if it's like the Niners, I hope you guys just. I hope Rodgers takes him to the woodshed, as they say,
Mhm.
down in Texas.
Now, if Aaron Rodgers showed up at your local Denny's, what would you serve him?
I would make sure no one messes with his food because I don't want to. All it takes is him finding out someone's a Chiefs fan and he's going to torture us. So, I mean, Rodgers is a cool guy. It's just the fact that his political opinions, people just sorry for cursing shit on him. But I'm like, it's 2024. I'm like, you can't even have an opinion over who's your favorite baseball player or what's your favorite pizza topping or why hot sauce is better on eggs and hot sauce is better on burritos. Like, people was like, they can't even have a conversation anymore. Like,
right.
People get highly offended over like a small joke.
Kids these days, man.
No, it's mostly grown-ass adult snowflakes.
You know who's a grown-ass adult? Charles Gorman.
Yeah, he is. Where's that chicken soup, dude?
I'm asking the same question.
Same here. Because this progressive chicken soup ain't cutting it anymore.
Yep.
But I was able to jump on a Discord. Someone was streaming the fourth quarter of the Jets game, and I watched that. They were going from different games to different games, and the other games were boring, and the Commie and the Jet game was close, so they put it on, and that was a good fourth quarter. I also saw the NFL put up a highlight of Darrelle Revis stopping a touchdown. That was a good highlight, too.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy for you guys. Like, you guys were doing good yesterday. All I know is if it's the AFC Championship game and you guys beat us to get there, all it takes is you facing any other team than the Lions. I'll just turn into a Jets fan for the Super Bowl.
All right.
And
we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, and one last thing before I go. Could you imagine Gang Green tackling the shit out of Brock Bowers? Sorry for the language.
Well, they don't play the Raiders this year.
No, they faced the Niners in the Super Bowl in 2025, and they knock him out of the game.
I think you mean Brock Purdy then, not Brock Bowers.
Purdy, my bad. 4.5 hours of sleep. My bad.
Specifically 4.5 or was it 4.3?
It was 4.5 to 4.75 between those. I'm just getting everything done cleaning so I don't have to do it next week because it's going to be... They're switching me back to days since the guy snitched because he's like, oh, they're overworking this worker from midnight to noon. His health and his all this. I'm like, when I tried to explain it to him, like I used to game, play League of Legends, play different games at 3 hours a night in my 20s. 3 hours of sleep at night, still going to work at a dollar store and be fine.
How old are you, Chiefs fan?
33.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, if I could live off 3 hours of sleep in my 20s each night, what's 16 hours up straight? Nothing. Like you did, you put in a long haul for the draft, and you came home sick, but you did it all for us, which we appreciate you for that.
Well, thank you, Chiefs fan. Great call out of you, and good luck with the laundry today.
All right, thank you.
Chiefs fan checking in, everybody. Another great call from him. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's going to work this time when we go to Felix. Felix Compost is on the line. What's up, Felix?
What's up, man? Sorry, man. I had calls coming in and got a little, trying to drive and stuff. So, but just a couple of quick things I wanted to bring out about Taylor III, man. I think he needs to make the team, man. I think he's a gem. He's in the rough, you know what I mean? And I think we have the ability to develop players that sometimes come to us, as an undrafted free agent, and we make them into stars. You know what I mean? I was just at Blue Beacon getting the truck cleaned. Our guy Stigler used to work there. You know, so shout out to him, man. And I'm excited to see him develop into an all-star also.
Yeah, great call, Felix. I'm going to let you go just because the audio was a little tough with the truck, but great point, man. I mean, look, they have a history of developing guys on that side of the ball. Tony Adams is starting now. UDFA. Quincy Williams, waiver wire pickup. I'm an all-pro. You go through the list of guys that they have taken that maybe were good players that became great. Or maybe were unknowns and they became really quality starters. Like, it's a lot of players on the defense. Some of them are not here anymore because they came to the Jets, got paid, and then left. Because the Jets have a pipeline there. Sheldon Rankins had a great season playing next to Quinn, and they got paid. Quentin Jefferson, great season last year. They got paid. Look how effective Al Woods was last year before he got hurt at his age. Jermaine Johnson, year 1 to year 2 development. JFM, waiver wire claim. Look what he was. Something to be said for that. Let's go to Chad, who's up next on the show today. What's up, Chad?
Hey, Jay, good to see you. 2 quick ones for you. And just, I guess it comes down to personal opinion or preference. I tend to not like to trust rookies with kick returning responsibilities. I know that Malachi had some in college, or probably had a significant amount in college. Where do you stand on that?
To me, I think you just play the best guy for the role. You need 2 guys back there, and I think one of them is going to be Gibson, Chad. So either way, you at least have someone back there who's not a rookie. And Gibson was a rookie last year in his first ever NFL game. He won them a game as a punt returner. So to me, it's either you could do it or you can't. I don't know if the rookie stuff plays a big part of my evaluation.
Okay, and then real quick, if Reddick continues into the next week or two, do you consider holding him out in the first week or 2 of the season as a means to make sure he doesn't get hurt too bad?
It's tough to answer that because I'm not there. Like, I would need to know if he's in football shape. How does he look? I mean, if he says he could go and the Jets medical staff agrees, then I think you play him. But I mean, the longer this goes, you do run the risk of him not being ready for week 1 if he maybe suffers a hamstring injury getting ready for the season, and then all of a sudden he's out a couple games. Like, that's the fear with all this. You hope they could get something done this week. That still gives them 4 weeks or 3.5 weeks to get ready for the opener.
All right. Thank you very much, Jake. Great show.
Chad, appreciate you, man. Great call, other than your Orioles hat. Go Yanks. More calls right now. Let's go to Hype, who's up next. What's up, Hype?
Yo, what's up, Jake? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm never as good as you, man.
I appreciate
Never
that.
as good as you. Hey, so one, I wanted to say, I love the show. I was one of your first 100 subscribers.
Wow, I appreciate
Yeah.
that, man. You go back a long way.
Yeah, I go back a long way. So when you were doing 2-a-days with the Houston and all of that stuff, everything was great. I thank you for your content. The one thing I really want to say, Jake, is I love the sense of humor. A lot of people don't get a lot of things that you say, but I catch on quick, and I really, really love it. But going back to these Jets, it was a good game. I thought what they're doing with Downing calling the plays is pretty good. Hackett was calling the stuff inside the red zone. I was really specifically watching out for that. I remember last year when Hackett had first came in, they were talking about Hackett never really called plays when he was in Green Bay, but he did call the red zone plays, which he calls the green zone.
Did I miss that, Hype? Was Downing calling the plays? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so Downey was on the mic calling plays, and then whenever they got inside the 20, then you saw Hackett more on the microphone. If you go back and watch the game, you'll see it a little bit more. But I was specifically watching the sidelines for that.
I wanted to check that out. I did not notice that watching it at first glance yesterday.
Yeah, and you can see even a couple times you see Downing going up to Salah and, whispering something to Salah and then coming back and then saying something into the microphone. So it looked more like Downing was calling some of the plays like between the 20s.
Interesting. I'll check it out. Look, Downing's got play calling experience with the Titans. I think Salah, my observations, I've been to 3 practices this summer. Salah appears to be way more involved with the offense than he has been. He's in all the huddles. he's giving way more input, and his answer to that has been, well, I now know the system myself after being in it, so I could give suggestions from a defensive perspective on, hey, you're doing this. This is what we would do to counter that. Be ready for this. There's value in that. So
Yeah.
I look, Hackett, he is what he is, but Aaron negates a lot of my concerns if he's out there.
Absolutely. And that's really what my point is. I'm not concerned with the offensive play calling. I saw, even if Downing specifically wasn't calling the plays, I saw before the plays that him and Salah were involved. Whoever's sending the message to the quarterbacks is, I don't know, but for the most part, I like what was being done.
Yeah, it was an encouraging first game. It was entertaining. There was a lot to like with the rookies. I mean, no real complaints, I think, if you're a Jet fan after that. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. It's one game. It's preseason, but nice to win, and it was entertaining. Like, if you spent time watching that, you got a really good football game.
Absolutely. And my hope is that we finish the season and Salah finishes up with a 35-33 record overall, and we get a ring out of it.
What would that be? 35 or 33? Would that make him 20 0?
Well, yeah. Well, 17 regular season wins will put him at 35.
Okay, I got you. And then we need at least 3 more wins from that point.
So he gets the ring.
I got you.
And Aaron wants to do something that has never been done before. Nobody has had a completely lossless season and won the Super Bowl.
Meaning out for the full season, then came back the next year and won a championship?
No, I mean undefeated for the season.
Oh, okay.
And won the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what. I don't need them to go undefeated. I'd sign for it, but give me 12-5 AFC's champions, and All take my chances.
We're easy 14.
Easy 14. Hype. You're hyping me up, Hype. From your lips to God's ears.
All right, Jake, you take care. I'm always watching. I'm always here. As Maniac for life.
Hype, you're the best, man. Appreciate the support. He says he was with me when I didn't even have 100 subscribers. How about that? Thank you. I appreciate that. I see that Tony S is in the chat. He says, hey, Jake, I'm on a plane for a business trip. Anyone else watch the Jake Asman Show live at 30,000 feet? You might be the first, Tony. I'm not sure. Shout out to everyone who takes us on the road or in the air. Now, I want to say this to Tony. So Tony came to our event in Jersey last Wednesday night at Don Jose's. Great guy. Got a chance to hang out with Tony. He told me, hey, I have tickets to this game on Saturday against the Commies. I can't use them because we know Tony's flying. He's going on a business trip. And I want to donate them for you to give away to some listeners. So I said, okay, Tony, let me find a way to do that. I first wrote in the Discord, does anyone need tickets? No one needed them. So I said, okay, let's go to Twitter. And I took it to Twitter, and here's what happened. A listener named Stealth City NY, JJ, he said, I want the tickets. I want the tickets. So I sent him the tickets, and he sent me this picture yesterday of him, his lovely wife, and their young child in the jet onesie there, enjoying themselves at the game. Thank you for the great tickets, Jake. Great day for a ball game. Great day for a win. So, Tony, I want you to know your awesome gesture paid off great because we got the true family experience for one of our great listeners and his family yesterday. So shout out to Tony for making it happen. Once again, I'll continue to say, if anyone has extra tickets to any game this year and you want to get them in the hands of a real Jet fan, or maybe you could take a young kid who's never been to a game before, send them my way, and I'll do my best to distribute it to the right people. So thank you, Tony, for that. That's very cool. I think I gave away 12 total tickets, by the way, for this game yesterday. So pretty awesome. David says, Tony wants to join the Mile High Club. Tom then wrote at the same exact time, as Maniac Mile High Club. You people are sick.
Calm your freaky down.
But if someone does want to do that, I mean, please let us know. I mean, Bobby will go nuts. All right. What a show. A show they'll be talking about for decades to come if I have it my way. Thank you to everyone who supported. We didn't get the 17 memberships we needed, so that will carry over into tomorrow to hopefully be able to add the AR scorched earth emoji to the Arsenal. Get it? Arsenal. Arsonist. Fire. Dun. All right, I'm done. Thank you all. Thanks to GreenBean who joined for the first hour of the show. He was excellent. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Hit the like button on your way out of here. There's 307 likes. Let's get to 400. Let's keep it rolling. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. A victory Sunday, if you will. A Sunday where we could sit back and say the New York Jets remain undefeated in the year 2024. Thanks again for tuning into the show. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. Hope everyone has a tremendous rest of their weekend. And I, of course, will talk to you guys soon. JETS, Jets. This person's called in under the name GreenBean. So let's go to GreenBean. He's next up on the Ghostbuster hotline. GreenBean, what do you got for us?
There he is.
This is not my vape pen. This is an Apple TV remote. Hey, guys, GreenBean here. Are these Jets for real? I mean, will Denzel Mims be a difference maker this year? We'll get into all of that, but before we get started, I do want to remind you of those milk thumbs.
Bean, we gotta get going. Great Adventure has fireworks tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They have a new coaster there. Well, thanks, boys. I don't want you to forget to shave your balls with Manscaped. Promo code Jets Forever. Oh, shit, she started the mobile home. Stop, no, don't leave the counters outside the window. Oh, all right. Oh, honey, hold on. Don't leave yet.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, my God.
Production value, Jake. That was good.
I mean, every time we get a new Gator impersonation, the production value, the impersonation, it just gets better and better.
Yeah, well, that was actually my RV, too. That was really my RV. That was good. That was my whole show. I mean, that was everything I do in the vape pen. I haven't vaped since April 1st, everybody. So, so there's that. But it's going to take a while for people to undo that visual. I always had a vape in my mouth for quite a long time. But I got to say, well done. And I would watch that guy's show.
That's the great Gator McCluskey there doing his thing.
Look, guys, I don't know how else to say this. Fact of the matter is the team has almost no chance to win this week unless you click on the like button. Also, be sure you're subscribed to the Jake Asman Show. Let's do this. Go Jets!